And of course, we have to situate as for the services. What are the services we have to look into, how sustainable these services are, and how well they will be able to withstand the global competition. That is another dimensions we are situate. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Biswanjit, for one dimensions of the developmental challenges the region is having. Next, I would like to call upon Professor Chinglen Maishnam from the Department of Economics, Manipur University, also to share his valuable thoughts related to this plenary session. Over to Professor Chinglen, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected moderator of this technical session, resource persons on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I will be very, very brief because I know there is a time constraint. But first of all, I like to remind you this is my case. I was one of the invited speakers shared by the then minister and also the leader, the prominent leader of Indian government, particularly BJP. That is Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi. He's a well-known philosopher. He's also a well-known philosopher. The topic of the seminar, international seminar, was on access policy. I told the audience in his presence that, yes, India is so much talking about high growth trajectory. India is still pursuing high growth trajectory. Okay, India is one of the fastest growing economy in the world, no doubt. Even India could beat China in terms of growth rate, not in terms of volume of GDP. In terms of GDP, volume of GDP, yes, India may be the third largest economy in the world. We are claiming that definitely we will be the third largest economy in the world after USA and China. But the gap you see, the difference you see, the difference between second and the third, what is the present volume of GDP of India? Still we are hoping to achieve $5 trillion. Hoping. But the GDP of China, you see, it is around $20 billion, $20 trillion. So in that seminar, I told the audience, delegates, in presence of Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, that it will take 40 to 50 years to reach the level China reached today. It is according to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. It was not my opinion. It was the comment of the IMF. So when we come to the access policy, I told him that Act East policy is just like a non-performing slogan. Light, camera, no action. Yes, there is Act East policy. Everyone is talking about Act East policy, look East policy. But on the ground, what do you see? So, we should follow the mantra. Minimum bhasan, maximum action. China is acting, but India is speaking. Still speaking. What is the trade deficit, bilateral trade deficit between India and China? It is almost touching the record figure of $100 billion. It is not in favor of India. Even we are importing what? Even importing god, idols from China. So China is celebrating India's Holi. China is celebrating India's Diwali. India is celebrating India's Durga Puja because most of the gods are made in China. Even we are importing gods from China. In one of the advertisements I found, India's beautiful god will be available in 5 factories in China. So you see the difference. We are giving bhasan, a lane of bhasan, but bhasan cannot work. Act East policy is a failure. We are now talking about export. Export-led growth strategy, yes, in an open economy. The primary driver of growth must be export-led. But what is happening today? Because of the Trump tariff terrorism, as well as because of recessionary conditions in the world, now the establishments, those who belong to the establishments and the establishment economists, mainstream economists, they have now shifted the slogan, the practice from export-led growth to consumption-led growth. Consumption-led growth is nothing but home market-led growth or domestic market-led growth. Even RBI is talking about this because the global economic scenario is not in favor of the country like India. Even China is also looking inwards because of the prevailing conditions. So, why there is GST reforms in the country? It is a panic response to the Trump tariff terrorism. And it is also a part of the boosting domestic consumption because there is a domestic demand problem in the economy. So we need to increase consumption, local consumption. But if you look at the growth rate of consumption, you will see that there is declining because people don't have purchasing power in their hands. If they don't have the purchasing power in their hands, what will be the condition of the market? So anyway, I'm coming to the local context. The Prime Minister, particularly the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, is so much talking about Northeast. When he talk about Northeast, he's always mentioning that, he's repeatedly mentioning that in Northeast, including Manipur, will be the heart of India's Act policy. But you see, if you look at the condition of Manipur today, you will see that part of that heart is bleeding. That is Manipur. Manipur is bleeding. And also said that Northeast, including Manipur, will be the heart of engine for India's economic growth. But that one of the key parts of that engine is now burning. That is Manipur. You see the condition of Manipur. What is the condition of Manipur today? Due to violence and insecurity, almost all these sectors, 3 sectors of the economy, primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, have been seriously affected. And it's left many households bankrupt, many business units bankrupt. Even some of the MLAs are claiming that they are now becoming they are now falling under the category of below poverty line. Some of the MLAs becoming BPL, from VVIP to BPL because of the economic stress. They are indebted. And communities have been ruined. Income sources have been disappeared. Economic activities have been disrupted because of the violence, because of the insecurity. So, there is stringent limitations on the movement of goods and people, coupled with the disrupting, as I have already told you, an influx of raw materials, machinery, crucial technologies, severed the state's connection to national and global markets, and resulted in widespread devastation across the economic, business, and the domains. So, the conflict, as I already told you, has disrupted the business environment, affecting particularly the private sectors. You see the condition of MSMEs today. They are suffering. They are suffering. There has been job losses, retrenchment, and they are struggling for survival. So we are discussing these buyers and the sellers meet at a time when Manipur is bleeding, Manipur is burning. So until and unless we address this humanitarian crisis, we address this economic stress, it is very risky for us. It is near impossible to dream for a new, Manipur. So, and you may be knowing that more than 60,000 people are in the daily camps. And there has been a case of suicides among the IDPs in Manipur because of the mental stress, mental health crisis. So, my suggestion, I'll come to my concluding point that establishing and operating a successful business in the current context is near impossible. And any business that maybe commerce or economic activity is subject to extreme risks and uncertainties. So keeping all this in view, I would like to suggest, make some suggestions, particularly to the government, because without active state intervention, without active government intervention, I think we cannot solve the ongoing crisis. So critical interventions for immediate and early recovery. So as Bishanjit has also rightly pointed out that MSMEs are the vital for the economy of the state. So we need to support MSMEs. Government need to support MSMEs, access to cash liquidity and operational working capital through grants, relief, funds, etc. And should also address financial constraints faced by many of the MSMEs and startups in Manipur. So we need to introduce industry recovery fund by the government. And also, we need to introduce financial and support scheme for MSMEs, startups, and other new enterprises, such as zero interest loans to the MSMEs, startups, and so on. And the credit guarantee schemes is also called for. And the risk sharing mechanism is also called for, and strengthening the capacity of private sector and also their organizations, because the government alone cannot rescue the shrinking economy. And I would also like to suggest the policymaker to provide a 5-year tax exemption as a part of rehabilitation or rebuilding strategy. And as you know, the prerequisite for business recovery, before business can function, a number of fundamental conditions must be met in Manipur. Number one, safety and security for allowing economic and business activities to resume, and functioning infrastructure is directly called for, and unrestricted access to the movement of goods, services, people, and so on. So the real question lies with economic recovery plans. As I told you, without active state intervention, the problem will continue to deteriorate. So the critical situation in Manipur demands urgent action. The foremost priority, as I already told you, is to address the problem of humanitarian crisis, to mitigate the conflict's economic, financial impact, and start at scale recovery efforts, and so on. So, and also, I also like to suggest the policymaker, particularly the government, to institute a high-level expert, high-level committee to assess the impact of both COVID and the violence on different sectors of the economy. And secondly, also need to announce a policy package, particularly for the IDPs in Manipur. In Kashmir, you know, Kashmir migrant, they are getting both government jobs and the monthly honorarium of around rupees 13,000 per family. They are demanding rupees 20,000 per month, at least. So there must be development package for rehabilitation, relief, and for recovery. It should be at the Prime Minister level, not at the state level. The Prime Minister of the country should announce a big package, huge stimulus package for Manipur. And if you don't have any policy, if you don't have any package, particularly for this sinking economy, then how can we think about good environment of conducive environment of business and trade in Manipur? And as I have already told you that the policymakers are now shifting. Yeah.
Can you just wind up in next 1 minute, please?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Madam is also here, but I just want to highlight you one figures, a surprising figure for Manipur. The interest payment and the debt services. For interest payment and the debt services, Manipur spent rupees, this is for 1 year, 2023 and 24, Manipur spent rupees 9,180 crores. 9,180 crores, and this is charge expenditure, not voted charge. 9,180 crores. And for commerce, textile and industry department, the department spent only rupees 35 crore. So the condition of this department, it becomes a sick department. We need to convert it into a major department. This is one of my suggestions. Anyway, I'm winding up. So today, as we gather here for the buyer and the sellers meet, we have seen unimaginable difficulties, hardship, yet even in the shadow of violent conflict, our people, our entrepreneurs, our innovators, our business leaders continue to build dream and hope. Yes, violent conflict destroys the physical structures, but it cannot destroy new ideas, innovation, and our skill. So let us hope for the better. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Chinglin. In fact, Manipur is experiencing a very, very unfortunate situation at the moment. We look forward to at least restore the peace at the earliest. We are experiencing so many challenges from the economic developmental perspective. Professor Chinglin has expressed his dissatisfaction over some of the policies like ACIS policy. Though it is an evolving process, may not be the desired result is not achieved at the moment, but who knows, in the next few years down the line, many more new developments may come up. We may be optimistic enough in whatever the things we have, in spite of so many challenges. We are also having so much of other difficulties, issues about the tariff war happening the world over. Then, in fact, one area of concern is about northeastern region of India. It should be the heart for making Indians' developmental things as a growth engine. That means the Viksit Bharat can be happening with the Viksit Purvatar Bharat. So that way, we can focus on the various other dimensions where we can just look into in spite of so many challenges. And he suggested strongly for the government interventions requirements, especially for the MSMEs. Though the government of India and government of Manipur has been providing so much of incentive as of now too, Unnati scheme is there where 50% of the capital subsidy is going to be reimbursed and 5% interest subsidy reimbursement can also be made available to many of the new projects coming up under the Unnati scheme. So that's why we can see many more areas of opportunities of collaborations for employment generation and foreign direct investment, if possible, in some of these sectors. Then one very catchy word is zero interest loan and industry recovery funds could be some of the areas where we can just look into. Of course, we have good policymakers present here. Wherever feasible, this can be worked out. And in fact, enhancing the capacity of private sector is of utmost importance for capacity building, for employment generation. And we know government sector cannot provide jobs to everyone. The larger chunk of the population, larger chunk of the employment opportunities can be created from the MSME sectors only. That's why we have to come out more viable alternatives. That means the consumer-led development and export-led development. Whatever, there are so many other frameworks, we can just see to it. But for Manipur is a very complex and we need to work out all possible angles where these regions can be transformed into an economically vibrant state. Thank you for your critical observations on various counts, and hopefully we can just see to it at least the IDPs, internally displaced people's special schemes for the economic development that may be needed, and the concerned authorities may look into it, and at least they may also become a part of the economic growth activities. Thank you, Professor Chinglin. Next, I would like to call upon Madam Yumnam Robita, IAS Director, Trade, Commerce and Industry, Government of Manipur. Let's listen what are the activities this directorate is doing, and of course we know, and then many more other policy initiatives the directorate has been doing for the overall growth and development of the industries, trade, commerce in the state. So I request Madam Yumnam Robita to take your time, please.
Good morning, everyone. Respected chairperson and the resource person on the dais, and all my colleagues and businessmen and entrepreneurs which are present in this convention hall today. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on the schemes, and basically the theme that we were discussing today is India-ASEAN engagement for trade, investment, connectivity and governance with reference to Northeast India, opportunities, challenges and way forward. I think some of our speakers have gone way and above what the topic is, I feel. And coming to the India-ASEAN engagement for trade investment, I think ASEAN is one of our biggest market for India and specifically for Northeast India, because we are the gateway to the ASEAN countries. The ASEAN highway is running through our state. That is going to be one of the most important and most, I don't know how to put it into it, for economic development, that is going to be one of the most important highway for us, I feel. Our products which are coming from the mainland or even from other northeastern states will go through this highway to go to the ASEAN markets. There have been a lot of inquiries, and a lot of people and a lot of investment opportunities have been coming up to set up factories or to build an industry out here from the some of the major industries. But as pointed out, we have a law and order situation. We do agree on that. But it is our people and our government, and it's our own land, which we have to make sure that people who come and invest in our land should be made safe so that it will bring a growth in our state where we can stand on our own. Blaming one another is not going to solve the problem. How we work together to solve the problem is the solution. I feel that way. And moreover, industry recovery, like I had mentioned in my previous speech also that during the COVID, there was a lot of problem and a lot of industries, especially a lot of MSMEs, especially the micro ones, have suffered a lot. There were a lot of closing of the businesses which they were not able to recover. So there are some schemes which are being devised by the government of India, not only for our state, it's for all over the country, to bring up the MSMEs to a level where they can survive on their own. It's how the MSMEs or how the entrepreneur or how the people of the state or the country take advantage of these schemes and all the opportunities that are given by the government. We have PMEGP, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. Here we get lots and lots of application out here. But the problem with our entrepreneur and our businessman is there are people who are actually diligently doing their business, actually diligently paying back, and so that they can get more opportunities from the government. But we have been facing a lot of problem in PMEGP or, for example, PFME, where there are a lot of NPAs which are happening. So we should make a healthy habit of paying back to the bank so that the bank can, finance our business and then make our business more vibrant. We have credit guarantee scheme is already there. Zero interest loan, for example, Mudra. Mudra is already there, but our NPA is so high that the bank are a little reluctant to give Mudra. But we have been insisting on bank, and the government has been taking decision, and the government has been giving pressure on the bank that if you do not lend to the priority sector areas, like for example, women entrepreneurs, our SIGs, especially who are doing small businesses, they need to lend to them so that they can run their business. If they don't do this, there are orders and there are actions that have been taken up against the bank for not lending it. And especially the government nationalized banks that have been going out of their way to do it. We expect the private banks to also to step forward to give an opportunity to our entrepreneurs also. Referring to the challenges that we have a lot of challenges in our state. Like basically we are a landlocked area, like one of my predecessor speaker has pointed out. We are a landlocked area. Our railway line has reached Khongsang but is yet to reach our state capital. There are challenges which are being faced, which have been worked out, and which are making sure that the rail comes here. So once the rail comes here, I feel that maybe our business opportunities will increase, because the goods trains, once they start running, then the cost of transportation reduces comparatively to the highway or through highways. And then law and order is a situation, but how I have said, it's how we, the people of the state, makes it how we want our state to be. This is how. The law and order, it depends on the people. It's not only the government, or it's not only the police or the army. It depends on us as an individual, how we make our law and order better for our state. Way forward, I would like to say that there are a lot of opportunities here, and we don't lack anything. Like our in the inaugural session, our chief guest had said that the bamboo is one of the main assets of the Northeast India. We are trying to explore a lot of things, how to make bamboo into aviation fuel, how to make bamboo into incense sticks, how to take an opportunity from this grass. Like yesterday also, today also, I think we are having a display of bamboo products in our stalls, where we make it into bed, our sofas. There are different products that can be made from bamboo. So I feel bamboo is just an example. We have a lot of medicinal plants, a lot of aromatic plants, a lot of flavor and fragrances can be developed from there, which are unique to our region. So let's make an opportunity of developing those, and how to make this into a unique USP of our state, of this region, to sell it to the outer world, and how to create an opportunity for people and the farmers who are actually growing this, who are actually cultivating this, so that an opportunity is given to them to make a sustainable livelihood. There are a lot of schemes, like for example, in the previous government, they had already introduced one livelihood, one household, one livelihood. That has been given to a lot of, has given a lot of opportunity to a lot of people to run small businesses to sustain themselves. So there are things which are being worked out at the government level, which we are trying to help people, and we are trying to help the businessmen. I have seen our distinguished academicians saying that government should not interfere so much in running of a business and red tapeism. Agreed on that. That is why we have a policy coming up called as deregulation, where all our factory permits, for example, trade licenses or third-party inspections are allowed, so that they don't have to run around the government offices to get their permit or their licenses. Everything is available online on the portal. There's a national single window where they can go and register themselves. They can ask for a fire NOC, or they can ask for a trade license or a factory license from there. We have a EODB portal. Most of the services that are provided by the government departments are going all online, so that there is less physical contact with the officials and the thing, so that the red tapeism reduces. But I feel that it's a give and take situation. It's both way. It's how the public responds to the government and what the government can do for the public. I think if we all get together and work together, I think we can make our state a great opportunity for investment, for the businesses, and as a place where we can all grow together. Thank you so much. I don't have much to say because there are a lot of distinguished speakers still left on the podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam, for highlighting the various schemes available for the incentives to be provided to the entrepreneurs, MSMEs, and PMEGPs, and also identifying the various aspects of opportunities Manipur can just avail of. And keeping ASEAN is a very good market for Manipur to connect on the road. When India is connecting, it is normally by air or by water, that is a maritime. But when we just dream of having connectivity, that's Manipur should be the gateway. And that is what Madam has spoken. And keeping all these things in mind, some of the areas, including the bamboo, from which aviation fuel manufacturing, etc., can be worked out, then aromatic and medicinal plants. These are the areas where some of our people can bang upon and think about exporting. Then one livelihood for every family, that's a very good venture government had taken up. And this is how the grassroots level can be supported. And many of the challenges people find while doing businesses, the single window clearance, decreasing the red tapeism, etc., are increasing. But at the same time, we also would love to see at least some special economic zones. And for that matter, we have a IT software technology park, then special economic zones for the software technology that we have seen. We also love to see some of the special economic zones for the jewelries. We have a food park. We have, of course, a handloom also. We have handicrafts that we will be listening further. So that way, one point which I love to share while mentioning these things, some of the aspects, especially in the pharmaceutical and biotechnology, Manipur has a very good potential. And for that matter, we can emulate how the small state like Sikkim is able to host about 55 plus pharma companies as on today. And in fact, they are giving good employment opportunities, though some of the firms may not be doing that very well, but many of the firms are doing good. Similarly, in Himachal Pradesh, Solan, they are also having a very good pharmaceutical item. Why not in Manipur? Can we just think of exporting pharma items from the soil of Manipur to different parts of the globe, especially our neighbors, Myanmar and Southeast Asian countries. So these are some of the areas which we can deliberate upon. So we will just move further without taking much time. Thank you very much for highlighting all such kind of benefits, and we look forward to having very good cooperations to all the entrepreneurs, potential entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, to avail of the facilities provided by the Directorate of Trade, Commerce and Industries, and at least Manipur can become a vibrant state with the help of proper government support and intervention. Next, I would like to call upon Dr. T.H. W. Singh, the icon of our state as for the entrepreneurial activities are concerned. He's the chairman cum managing director, Babina Group of Companies, having so many verticals under the name of Babina. And we will listen how Babina has been flourishing in spite of so many odds and difficulties and challenges the state is facing. So I request Dr. T.H. W. Singh to take your time and share your valuable thoughts related to this session, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. After listening the power-packed, forceful speech of our Honorable MLA, all the speakers have been, I think, outcast now, and it's going to be a big challenge. That was really a powerful speech, and I would say that it was a dramatized speech to some extent. Anyway, this particular topic that I have chosen today is opportunities in tourism and hospitality sector. This may not be directly in alignment with the main theme, but tourism is definitely an important sector in the economic development and employment generation in the region. That's why I have chosen this topic. And this particular talk was presented in the same place 2.5 years back. That was in 2023, the G20 summit that was hosted by Manipur, and the program was conducted in the same hall with a lot of the participants from different countries in the world. And the same is being repeated today, but I have updated the figures because 2 years old with the information in tourism, there has been a lot of changes. So let me begin with the quote. May I have the next slide, please? It's the statement given by Honorable Prime Minister of India. All the states of the Northeast region are blessed with natural scenic beauty, distinct historical, cultural, and ethnic heritage. All this offers tremendous scope for tourism in the region. Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Unquote. Now, tourism is a really important sector for the economic development. In 2024, the last financial year, tourism contributes 10% of the world's GDP. It's a global figure. It's 10% of the world's GDP. And it also generates significant employment. That is 11.8%, or you can say that 1 in every 12 jobs in the world is provided by tourism and related activities. Next, please. This is the list of the top 10 countries whose economies are dependent on tourism, or the tourism-related economy, we can say, for the year 24 and 25 financial year. As expected, United States of America is on the top, and India is within 10, taking the 8th position. But USA and China are showing in trillion figures, but the rest of the countries are in billion figures. So India's figure is 231.6 billion in 24-25. That's very substantial figure generated from the tourism activities. Next, please. This is the international figure. My presentation will be based on different segments. The first, I begin with the international or global figures. Then after that, I will come to the Indian figures in our country, and then come to the Northeast region, and then lastly, in our state, Manipur, and focus in Manipur in the later stage of this presentation. Now, in 2024, 1.4 billion travelers were received in different destinations worldwide. It's quite a huge figure. And that was the 11% of growth as compared to 2023 figures. So the globally, tourism is growing. There was a little bit of decreasing trend during the COVID time, or significant the decrease during COVID time in the particular areas. And now it's gradually picking up, but still it's slow, but it's picking up. Now let's come to India. In India also, just like global figures, that it's also the largest job provider in the country. 42 million jobs are provided by tourism and related activities in 2024. And it's expected to grow to 63 million by 2034. That is, in another 10 years, it's going to jump, if not double the figure, but it's almost 1.5 times it's going to jump. Foreign and domestic tourist arrivals in the country, 9.95 million foreign tourists visited India in 2024. At the same time, 302 million domestic tourists. Visits were made across the country. That means from one place in the country going to another place. That alone comes to 302 million tourists. It's quite a big figure. How about the Northeast India? Comparatively, Northeast India receives less tourists as other parts of the country. It received 12.78 million domestic tourists during 2024. But the foreign tourists are significantly low, that is 2.44 lakh foreign tourists visiting in the Northeast region. But still, the figure is increasing as compared to the previous years. Now, this is the map of Northeast that everyone knows about, that it's very strategically located and surrounded by 5 foreign countries, Northeast India, right from Nepal, then Bhutan, and China to northwest to, and then in the north side. The eastern side, there is Myanmar, and southwest, we have Bangladesh. So all 5 countries are surrounding the Northeast region. So geographically, it's a very strategically located from different angles. And connectivity-wise, the entire Northeast is connected lane through the Chicken Neck area. That's about 24 kilometers width only. Now, how about the tourist spots in the Northeast? There are 4 identified areas by the Tourism Department, Government of India. 2 are for the hill stations, and 2 are from wildlife and national parks. Shillong and Gangtok are the hill stations recognized by the India Tourism, and Kaziranga, and we have the Kaibul Lamjau Floating National Park in Loktak Lake. So these are the 2 identified wildlife and national parks. So Manipur is not excluded. We still have a lot of other areas where tourists will be interested to visit. Why should you visit Northeast? This is the information that we can give to those people who are coming from other parts of the country. It's a relatively unexplored paradise. I use the word paradise. There are different cultures, different tribes and languages, and food is something which is different from other parts of the country. If you visit, you'll see a lot of breathtaking locations. And of course, good news is that it's becoming quickly India's hottest new destination. Of all the Northeast states, as of today, I think Sikkim is the one which has been flourishing in tourism. The economy is transformed significantly because of the tourism which has been running in a very successful manner in Sikkim. And the focus in Northeast India for promoting tourism, there are a few reasons. One is because of its rich cultural heritage. As already mentioned, it has incredible landscape, beautiful landscape, and we can tap the vast potential that's there. All because of this, Ministry of Tourism sanctioned 16 new projects worth around 1,300 crores in 2022. These schemes are under implementation at the moment. And promote tourism thereafter and generate jobs and opportunities for the people of this state and the region. How about Manipur? The figures are very small, as expected. Domestic tourists, we had 1,67,334. And foreign tourists we had in the year 2019, 12,102. If you compare these figures with other states or other parts of the country, it's quite small. But if we see from our angle, this is a significant jump from the earlier figures. That like 2019, you go back 10 years, 2009, the foreigner visiting Manipur was around 400. But in a matter of 10 years, it was increased by 30 times, jumping to 12,102. But domestic tourist visits were more or less close, only increased by around 10%. But very recently, after the conflict situation in Manipur, the visits have significant reduction as expected. There is a fall of up to the tune of 79% drop in tourist visits, both in domestic and of course significant reduction in the foreigners' visit. Because after the conflict, there has been other restrictions given. RAP, restricted area permit, and then other form of restrictions given. The restricted area permit provides more restrictions to the visitors from foreign countries. They need a special permission to be taken from the Home Ministry. And getting that permission takes minimum 2 to 3 weeks. So any foreigner visiting Manipur as a tourist, waiting for 3 weeks to get the permit, it will not serve the purpose and the tourist will not be visiting. Until and unless these restrictions are removed, the visiting foreigners to Manipur will not be in big numbers, maybe in very few, when special permits are given to them. Anyway, we have to be optimistic. The future is always brighter. In spite of the current turmoil, I think we can look forward for a brighter Manipur. So let me discuss a little bit about Manipur's potential in regard to tourism. And taking this, the situation, let me again say that I am a medical doctor. I am not specialized in tourism and others, but this is one of the areas where I am interested. And we have hospitality service associated with our organization that's also directly linked to tourism. And I was working as the president and founding president of Manipur Tourism Forum, interested in promoting Manipur as one of the hottest destinations in the country for tourism. So that's the interest why I have explored in this area. So let me discuss in three reasons. One is the connectivity, then what are the resources that we have, and what is the status of hospitality sector in the state. I would quote one of the lines given mentioned by one of the speakers, an expert in tourism, an advisor in tourism from the state of Sikkim. P.K. Dong is the name. He once said that Manipur is a sleeping lion in terms of tourism. It's a sleeping lion, he said. And he was comparing Manipur with Sikkim. He said Sikkim has mountains and mountains and mountains. Beyond mountains, nothing is there. That's what he said. Manipur has mountains, hills, the valley, the lakes, the cultures, rich cultural heritage, Manipuri dances, indigenous games, and a lot more. But why Manipur is not able to come up to the level of Sikkim when you have so many things, and it's just a lion that is sleeping. That's what he said. And I think that's a very right statement that was given by Mr. P.K. Dong. Now, connectivity-wise, it has been already discussed by earlier speakers that road connectivities are not that good. It's always in the process of improvement. But we have seen in the last 10 years or so, there is significant improvement, but not up to the level that we expect. It's connected with Dimapur, Silchar, and More through the national highways. Air connectivity is reasonably good. Imphal Airport has as many as 15, 16 flights a day in a small place, but still we enjoy a big number of the flights every day. Railway connectivity has been already discussed by the previous speakers. We have been waiting for the railways to arrive to capital city Imphal in the near future. Every time it has been extended, that line from one year to another. But this time we have been promised by the authority that it will be through by 2027. So let's hope and let us be optimistic. And once the railway connection is established, I think the movement can be made much easier, and we can also expect more tourists to arrive. Trans-Asian highways, both the highways are passing through Manipur, the capital city Imphal, and then it goes to More, and then to Myanmar. Trans-Asian Highway 1 and 2. One is the connectivity between Tokyo to Turkey. So we can remember like that, Istanbul in Turkey. That's the National Highway number 1. National Highway number 2 passes through Imphal and then to More and onward. And it connects with Indonesia with Iran. So I think the name's easier to remember. Turkey to Tokyo, Istanbul to, Iran to Indonesia. This is the second national Trans-Asian highway. So once these Trans-Asian highways are established, it's going to bring economic boom to the state of Manipur. We have a lot of sites. If you explore, there are a lot of sites. We have cultural sites, natural and wildlife areas, the sites where the people who are interested in adventure sports, they can enjoy. Rural, ethnic, and tribal tours can be managed. And Imphal was a very important location where the Second World War was fought. So war tourism or the remembrance tourism can also be established, and that the Manipur Tourism Forum work seriously in this line, and we could establish the Imphal Peace Museum, and that has attracted a good number of foreign tourists during that time. Polo is the game which started in the state of Manipur. Polo is the game given by Manipur to the world. And we organize number of polo tournaments, international polo tournaments, every year in the month of November. Flora and fauna is a biodiversity hub, hotspot in the Northeast. So that doesn't need explanation. And we can make different circuits, a combination of different states and different locations like that. So I'll show some of the figures, pictures, and quickly go through the Holi festival and then different forms of tribal dances when I refer to culture and traditions. And then heritage sites, cultural sites. We have Sri Govindaji Temple, the Hanuman Mandir, the Kangla, and of course, other areas. And Ima Kaitel is unique in the world. It's a big market, 100% managed by women. So Ima market, or Ima Kaitel. Manipuri dances are famous. The Ras Leela, the different forms of tribal dances, then the unique Pung Chalam. Food is very important when you attract tourists. Cuisine, different types of cuisines are very, very important in tourism. We are not weak in that area. We have a strong activities that we can show in terms of food trails. As regards the natural and wildlife sites, Loktak Lake is one area. I think our dignitaries from other parts of the country and then other parts of the world, you will be making a visit today to Loktak Lake, and you can explore that area. And Kebulamjau National Park, the only floating park in the world, that's the habitat for the Sangai deer. It's a unique. This is the deer which is found only in that floating park in the world. Adventure sports site, there are different areas one can explore and enjoy. I have already mentioned that Imphal Peace Museum was established some years back, and it's one of the very popular sites where many tourists used to visit. And Commonwealth War Cemetery and India Peace Memorial. Games, I have already mentioned about polo. The traditional polo and modern polo, a little bit of difference. Martial art, the Thang Ta. Then Olympian Park, Ibudo Mazing, Kubam. Olympian Park was they constructed a few years back. That's the site where the artifacts of the Manipuri Olympians are being displayed. INA Memorial, Sangai Ethnic Park, these are other additional locations. We also have hill stations, beautiful hill stations, nothing less than what we see in the other hill stations like Shillong and Sikkim. So we have a lot of advantages. I'll skip this slide because of the limited time. But we still have challenges. In spite of so many things that we have, we still have challenges, especially in terms of infrastructure. The connectivity is not that good. And the most important thing is about low image in the market. People are unaware of what is happening in Manipur in terms of tourism. And even if they know that, they know for bad reasons, not for good reasons. It's an unsafe place to travel is the image that people have. May not be correct all the time. Everything is safe and sound when somebody comes as a tourist. But still, the image is not that good. And travel restrictions, as I have already mentioned, the inner line permit, restricted area permit, protected area permit, these are some of the restrictions. Right, next slide, please. The way forward, naturally, when you have the limitation and challenges, you remove those challenges and the restrictions, then things will be all right. say, develop infrastructure, improve the law and order, remove travel restriction, and of course, branding and marketing is important. These days, without proper marketing, you cannot sell things. So proper branding and marketing. We need a good brand ambassador who can promote Manipur, and then the things will be different. Gujarat was not that popular in terms of tourism. When Amitabh Bachchan came in as the brand ambassador, Gujarat had significant increase of tourist inflow. Like that, Manipur can have a brand ambassador who can promote Manipur. And I think the outcome will be definitely significant and will be different. Image building exercises, we can tell our friends here that what you have seen, what you have encountered during your stay here, did you find anything abnormal? You'll say that everything is all right. So you kindly pass on these messages to your colleagues and friends and your families so that next time you can bring more people here. I think that's the way that image building exercises can be done. And of course, the capacity building, the infrastructure, manpower, everything. And of course, we need a lot of money to develop the places, financial resources. Chairman, sir, is there any time for me, or how much time? One more. Then it's going to be difficult to cover the hotels, resorts.
2 more minutes.
Okay, okay. Now, the accommodation facilities, we can divide them into 3 categories: hotels, the resorts, homestay, and BB, bed and breakfast. So that's the BB. These are the 3 modes where people stay during their visits as tourists. So Imphal has star-rated hotels, around 5 with 375 rooms. The total available rooms are 776. I am not promoting our organization. I am talking about the general figures that we have in the city. Now, in other hill districts, total we have 270 beds available. So I think it's good enough for the number of visitors that we have at the moment. But current demand is around 600 to 700 rooms. That's okay. But in the future, if everything comes normal, when the tourism grows in Manipur, then we will need, in another 10 years, maybe 1,000 to 1,500 beds or rooms. So in that case, we will need many more hotels to come up, or other facilities for accommodation. In 20 years, we can predict that 2,500 to 3,000. It's an approximate prediction only. So homestay promotes local food and culture. And for your kind information, homestays, there are no taxes applicable. And it should be affordable for people. And another important point is that when someone is staying at home, you can learn the local culture and local tradition better